Previously on Let's Make a Soccer Team.
I need to update my audio equipment. I've updated my audio equipment.
And we also won a surprising number of games, which has us sitting top of the table and earned us a lot of new fans. That is about triple the fan base that you start the game with. However, we are unable to win the coin flip with the volunteer work, so we won't be gaining that many more fans. And it's occurred to me as I've been playing through this game again just how many interesting features this game has that determines how well your team plays on the field. It's something I'm going to have to go through, and we have a winter break coming up in January that would be a good time for me to slot in a Lelmast University type feature. Oh, three-header! Greater Firth up early on what was a pretty weak goal. Oh, Baumgart with a counter move. Helsmesberger open goal, and it's already equalised. We could be in for a high-scoring game, as there have been gaps in Firth's defence all half, and right now gets on the scoreboard. There's been a lot of fouls in this game too, but that's the first booking as Barbaros flips him off. Oh, that was how they got us the first time, but this time the header was just a little bit too far from goal and Geeson was on it. And that interception from Ludwig, the referee blows the whistle immediately, and another win for the, I was about to say Nottingham Fire there. Old habits die hard. SV Leipzig, 91. And in light of the starting squad being stronger than I ever gave them credit for, I'm actually going to revise my challenge to make it a little bit harder by removing the ability for me to blindside fire my coaches or scouts entirely, with the one exception that I can hire an interim manager if I wish to promote a coach to the manager spot. In the meantime, we have something of a grudge match against CGen here because they beat us 2-0 in the preseason, and that's the only time in the playthrough so far we've lost by more than a goal. Oh wow! Kruger's been unable to save that. There was so much space for Spizak there. I don't know what the problem is as they get yet another shot off. Something about their formation or tactics causes our defense to match up poorly against them. Wait, was it just me, or was Ginster actually onside in that replay? See, I usually just skip over those offside replays because the linesmen are theoretically perfect, but in that case, it didn't look like it. I could turn off the offside replays entirely, but without the commentator, they're the primary method of me understanding that the whistle was blown for offside in the first place. Ginster! Oh, I cannot believe he's missed that. There, it is going to be blown after this kick. That is unbelievable that they're celebrating a win today. Because even with that victory, they are still sitting last on the table. I wasn't fibbing about them being one of the worst teams in the game, and yet we can't seem to do anything against them. And that is in spite of us having our way with much better teams for most of the season so far. That was only our fourth non-win, and we have to be careful as this could spark a regression to the mean. So we're at home today against Berghausen, and they're not doing that much better than CGen for the season, but that last result shows that we cannot take any result for granted. Lynn Patnam makes no mistake of it. Oh, and right after the kickoff, Ginster is in on goal. He's going to be able to manoeuvre it off the post. He has to go and clean up his own miss. Doesn't. And instead we could be... Oh, that was a clean tackle. What are you talking about? Oh, the ref is blind. I swear our player got the ball. Ball don't lie! Ryan to Ginster, and now Ginster has his goal. Another gab to add to the tally, and that actually went through 27's legs too. The nutmeg gab. Speaking of winning and losing margins, we've won all 11 of our league games by a single goal so far. So this would be the first time this season that we've had a dominant victory as opposed to squeaking one out. As unless Berghausen do something about it here. Oh, that was off the post. Oh, they still have it, and I spoke too soon. It's not over yet either, as now we've given them a decent chance at a free kick. I don't know why he direct shot that, but he almost scored. But I think that highlights just how different this season could have been. Because what if we weren't able to come back in a couple of those games that we conceded first? What if we had a couple of scoreless draws along the way? Because Munich has a much better goal difference than us right now. If the distribution of our goals weren't so fortunate, we could have easily been battling Rostock and Aachen for second. Right, so Cottbus, they aren't title contenders, but they aren't far off. And, oh, I cannot believe we didn't concede there. Oh, where are my defenders? It's like 3 of them were playing offside trap and the 4th decided not to. We did manage to get out of the half unscathed aside from the booking, but look at how dominant Cottbus has been so far. Has to make adjustments. What were you doing, Blon? Stuckins was on it. Ooh, Ginster, he beats the goalkeeper. That's open. Oh, how did we not score? Oh, look at that. The goalkeeper, he didn't clear it. Ginster, all he had to do was shoot that. That's a match that could have easily ended 1 apiece or even 2-1 to either side. But somehow it's going to be a scoreless draw. First time this season that it's happened to us. We still managed to get Geiger, Helmesberger and Ryan into this month's best 11 despite a less successful month for us. And here's something to note about the schedule. There are only 6 clubs in the Constellation Cup, and we are one of the 2 seeded teams, so we start directly at the Final 4. Alright, this is the part of the game where we can try and renew some of the contracts that we have. We can renew any contract, but the only contracts we need to renew are the ones set to expire at the end of the season. But obviously some expiring contracts are more important than others. Blon here, he is a regular starter at the left back position, and normally when they say they want a specific extension, it's hard to get them to agree to a different length contract. Usually it's best to just try and offer what your assistant tells you is a fair price and see if they bite. Yeah, he was just about happy with that, but we're going to have to renew him again next year. We also definitely need to renew Ginster. Even though Ryan has scored 1 more goal than Ginster, Ginster is our best overall playmaker. I have a feeling he is going to knock this one back though, because I know that the starting star striker is very money hungry. Gooden and Burley Chingen are 2 of our weaker players. I'll elaborate a little bit later, but I'm not as concerned about with their contracts. They can walk if they want to. Marshall, however, is pretty important as we don't have a lot of fullbacks in the squad right now. I'm actually willing to give him a generous offer, especially because he's going to ask for a 2-year extension. And that's chump change, basically. Okay, we've advanced the calendar 1 turn, which means we have another chance to talk to Ginster. The assistant is saying 380 now, which sounds about right. We do have time on our side in trying to negotiate a fair price for Ginster. And at this point, I'm getting a little upset about him, but we need him. So here we are against Aachen. They are 4th on the table right now. It is very congested all the way down to 10th. Just 4 points separating 7 teams. Lots of motivation for Aachen to take points away from us and hold on to their spot. But at the same time, it also gives us a great opportunity to extend our buffer over the promotion places to a minimum of 10 points. It's currently 9. Lots of space for Ryan. He's not the best passer, but he still gets it on target. Ginster, they are now tied on goals and assists. And they're looking dangerous here. A good save at the near post and our block. And that means we come away with another win. Archin's last attack fizzled out quickly. Schenk got man of the match. And it's also nice to see this much money coming through. We've been operating at a net profit for a while now. Speaking of, our official flag sold out, so I have another spot 3 to sell some merch. Let's go with the small flag now. It's been a couple of turns. We've had time to cool off. Let's try one more time with Ginster. And assistant, that is not going to work. We already established that 380 is not enough. We're going to try 420. Alright, we managed to get him. Oh, I forgot that Emmert is actually a winger and not a main striker. I've been playing him as a striker recently. I hope he was not upset at me over that. This is the last team that we haven't faced off against this season. Off and back. They're nothing special, but it's a away game. We can't take anything for granted. There was almost nothing to talk about in that first half. But I did notice that they had a defender named Ol Butts. Haha, you said Butts. Helmesberger crosses in. And it hasn't been that much more eventful until now. In the second half, Lynn Patner with one of his by now trademark solo attacks. The interesting thing was that Lynn Patner was playing as defensive mid at the time of him scoring that. Roles in this game not as rigid as FF Football Tactics and Glory, as Ginster makes sure of it. So he may this time get our first multi-goal victory, because it doesn't look like they're going to get an attack in, and they don't. Okay, so we're not actually playing this one, but we're about to find out who we face in the next round of the German Club Cup. And as previously mentioned, that is distinct from the German Prime Cup, which is the competition that's worth something, but we are hoping to claim some prize money. I wasn't sure I was going to recruit these two youth that I'm going to, but I concluded that they both have good ability and are within the teamwork tactical fitness diamond. So I think they are good enough candidates to join the squad, even though it will leave our youth academy a little bit bloated. So as I sit here and contemplate why two clones are talking to each other in my clubhouse, we press on. The first of the return fixtures now, Saarbrücken. I recall losing to these guys in the home opener. Should on paper be able to at least get the draw this time. Our team is of course going to chase more. They always want more. Ludwig, Blon. Oh, he almost missed it, but he didn't. Blon gets his first goal of the season. Oh, Hafez was yellow carded earlier, but now they've lost a player straight up. It's going to be very hard for Saarbrücken to come back from this. Oh, but we are going to have to sub off Helmesberger as well. Oh, it's getting ugly out there. The captain is off. Saarbrücken are down to 9. It's both of their right-wing players as well, so I'm going to take an aggressive approach in attacking down the left. Not that we necessarily need to score, and in fact, how did they do that? They've equalised with 9 men on the field. Oh, what are you doing? Where was Kruger? If I hadn't used all of my subs already, he'd be off for that. And we were too slow in counter-attacking. That is an absurd final box score. And I think Kruger has to shoulder a lot of the blame here. He should never have been out of position on that second goal. And that Saarbrücken meltdown means that whilst we're still 9 points clear when it comes to promotion, we've turned a 4-point lead at the start of the episode into a 4-point deficit as Munich have won all 7 of their games. As for the Cup, we had a potential derby against Ars, but Offenbach beat them. And whilst I'm here, I might as well show what's happening in the First League. Bayern, no surprise, they are leading and have by far the best goal difference.